we're back on the air as we continue the Gary Russen program, the Saturday Extra, here on Spreaker, on GGRB Online across America. Thanks a lot for tuning into the program. Got a lot of stuff coming up in this hour, so stay with me as we continue our show. And we're heading into the new hour, so we're going to be rolling in with another network flip here, and we're going to start the new hour up. And we got some more stuff to talk about in this next hour, so keep it here on the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, and we'll have some news, more news from interesting stories, and scroll through social media, get some people's comments on things, and play some music along the way too, just to make it interesting, because I just like to do that. And trying to find Moonlight Serenade with Glenn Miller. So kind of end the hour with that. But I thought I had it on here, but I think it might be on another place. It might be off by Swing Time, which I think that's where it's from. So I'll have to look on my Swing Time playlist. That's where it is. It's the theme to Swing Time, which will be coming back. I'm thinking about, I would like to resurrect that show only because I love the big band era. We're going to bring back the Swing Time show. So that will be coming up. And I'm working on, I told you yesterday, I'm working on a new schedule plan. So if you see the GGRB Schedule Update podcast, no video. I was working on the video to that, and I thought to myself, this is going to take longer than I thought. It's taken forever to put this thing together. So I decided, I decided to scrap it because the schedule just doesn't work. It's not going to. So I scrapped it, and I am whittling down our programs because I have too much on the schedule. So I whittled down pretty much all the programs on the schedule. It's getting whittled down. And I'm going to do something different. And it's going to be where I'm going to I'm trying to think here. Sorry about that. So I'm going to cut down my show down to the top 20 GJRB programs. And I'll talk about that next hour. And, of course, I talked about it yesterday, the top 20 GJRB programs, the ones that I feel would get the more listeners, the ones that people will, some people like more, like crooners, radio, television, and movie classics, Radio Land, the old-time radio program, all that, and decide to kind of stick with those programs, the ones that maybe people would like to hear more of. So I'm working on that right now. I'll be working on an idea for here soon. I'm going to be doing that, and maybe perhaps we might have a better idea what kind of programs we can put on the air. So I'm working on that right now. So I'll be talking about that. Meanwhile, I am looking at KGRA, Man Jumps from Plane. I got that story. Okay, I got a message here. Stephen Mucha posted this. And how you doing, Stephen? Maybe I don't know if you listen to this radio show or not. I'm not sure whether you listen to this podcast. But it'd be kind of cool if you could be on here. Ben called me. Messaged me just before airtime and said he wasn't able to make it today on the show because he was called into work. So if you are listening and you happen to be in Messenger, or I'll call you even, if you want to be on the radio with me, call me up on the Spreaker public site. All you have to do is get into the Spreaker page and where you follow me and go into my messenger, hit that call button. It'll ring in the Spreaker studios, and I'll answer it and put you on the air. Interesting. That's a nice menu. Where is this from? This is a menu of some kind. This looks pretty cool. Jerry's what? Looks good. Same menu for 50 years. Wow. Absolutely fabulous. Of course, this is a freestyle show, and we just passed our weather window, so I'm going to do weather on the 5s a quarter after, because sometimes I'll do that a little early so that I can get the Weather Nation coming up and see what's going on with the heat across the nation. So we're going to do weather. We're going to do weather on the 5s, and then at around quarter after or so, and then we'll do the moon landing stuff to launch off our 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music. So we'll do that, and so that's what we'll do. And so what I'm going to do at this point is to take a break at the top of the hour, run a few promos, and run some local, and come back in. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take a break here. I'm going to try something new to see if we can stay on an hour, and do part 2, and we'll relabel it part 2. And we'll continue with the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. And be back on the other side with some Glenn Miller, Moonlight Serenade, theme to our Swing Time show. And we'll be right back in just moments. Gary J. Russell with you. Hope you're enjoying the program wherever you're listening to across America. This is the GJRB Online Network. And this is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Thanks a lot for tuning into the show today. Glad that you could be aboard for some great internet talk radio at its best. The Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Recently, the owner of Facebook had a face congress over personal information on Facebook users. In addition, users were saying that their postings were being deleted. Getting sick and tired of your censorship and your data being used without your permission? Do something about it now. Come to MeWe, the internet social site that values your freedom. No more deleted postings. Make a step to freedom. Sign up today. It's easy. Go to www.mewe.com. That's M-E-W-E. MeWe, the internet's free speech social site. America's street music is back on GJRB Bluegrass with the Grass Goals, Bill Monroe and his Bluegrass Boys, and so much more. So it's time to bring it back, and on more often. It's Bluegrass Jubilee Freestyle with all the great songs you heard before and some new up-and-coming stars with some emerging bluegrass. Also, some all-time gospel favorites too. On GJRB. Yes, turn up the volume, because Up and Coming is back on GJRB with new songs from new artists throughout the show. If you and your groove would like to have your song on Up and Coming, send me an email with an attachment of an MP3 of your song to Up and Coming, GaryJ65@yahoo.com or GaryJ021361@gmail.com. Up and Coming is back this month, and it's all new music on the GJRB Online Network. All right, it is 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time right now on GJRB Online here on Spreaker across America, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific. And I'm Gary J. Russen. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, on the GJRB Online Network. We'll return in just moments. From America's Heartland, this is GJRB Clinton. And welcome back to a new hour of the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GGRB Online. And in the background you're hearing Moonlight Serenade by Glenn Miller Orchestra. There we go, Glenn Miller Orchestra, songs about the moon today, because today, in 1969, men landed on the moon. It made history, and it happened, folks. No matter how you slice it, it happened. And I'm Gary J. Russen. This is the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, right here on Spreaker. And we'll be spreading the show about. I'm trying to do that. I practice. It says I cannot talk and post at the same time. That's the problem. So that's why I play music, so that I can take that time to post. And I do that on purpose. And in this way, I can make time to post my material. So that's what I'm doing. You're listening to the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Always glad to bring you this program. And it's the Saturday Extra. And as I mentioned earlier, Ben Ostman didn't make it today because he has called into work. And he has another job besides, being on this program, which is really not a job at all. It's just a fun thing to do, but happens to the best of us. Called into work when unexpected. I used to get called into work when I worked at the QPT, our public television station, when I worked at the Blackhawk, because someone didn't show up, obviously, and I used to have to pull in the tab here, and I had to pull my weight there, and sometimes had to fill in when I didn't really want to, and I'm sure he didn't want to. I bet he wanted to stay home and talk to me on the radio. But we'll get here, Eventually on down the line, we kind of we kind of meet in the corner somewhere. You know, we managed to pull off. I mean, there's been times he hasn't been on the air for a while, and then, he was on the air with us one other week. What I should do whenever I do, I'm going to set that aside and replay it, a segment we had with him. I'm going to do that on another show. But we'll be back on again next week, right here on GJRB Online next Saturday. Right here on GJRB Online on Spreaker, we'll have Ben on our program once again and attempt to get him on. And, of course, either the phone dies or he has to go to work. So we'll get him in there one way or the other here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker. And the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra, here on GJRB Online. And we're getting ready to do Weather on the Fives real quick. So we do this every once in a while. Take a look at the radar at this time. Pretty much Minneapolis, St. Paul. There's a lot of rain around Minneapolis, St. Paul, Chicago, Omaha, Nebraska at this point. And it's going to spread throughout the rest of the evening. So why don't we do this? I'm going to pop back over to the other side and play our Weather on the Fives theme. And see what we got here. Some daytime temperature. Here's some of today's highs. Well, look at, man, I'm telling you, we're covered in heat. Pretty much over the chunk of the Midwest. 100 degrees in Wichita, Kansas. 96 degrees Omaha, Nebraska. 94 degrees in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's 98 in Dallas, Texas. 94 in Houston. But if you get up around New York, up around the eastern coast there, especially from New York all the way up to Boston, upper 90s to 100. 100 degrees in Washington, D.C., 96 in New York, 100 degrees for Boston. And as I said yesterday, the whole weekend in Washington, D.C., today and tomorrow, will be 100. They're going to hit the century mark. 97 degrees in Detroit, 94 degrees in Chicago. And taking a look at some of the other areas. Let's see what we got here. I'm going to pull that, let that play. Let me see if I just hit this button. There we go. And see what tonight's lows are going to be. As soon as that pops in there. Some more today's highs. 80 degrees in Spokane, Washington. Boise, Idaho at 87. And Sacramento, California, checking in at 91. And here is check on some of the severe weather and some weather across the nation. Here is... Let me see if I plug this in real quick, because if I don't do that, I won't get any sound. Let's see, pull that up here, plug it in, turn it on, flip over to the auxiliary, and I think we'll get some sound. Here is Weather Nation.
City, it's a hot weekend, and it will continue to be so all weekend long. Look at the beautiful skyline, though, with a few of those clouds out there. Some blue skies, but certainly lots of heat and lots of humidity expected in the Big Apple as we work our way into Sunday as well. So the scorching heat and humidity, it's here to stay, at least for the next day or so, and then we get a nice break here. We're going to see a cold front move through and tumble those temperatures. Unfortunately, that cold front is going to spark off some more severe thunderstorm chances here, and we will be seeing some of those through the Great Lakes region even into tonight. Here's a look at the heat alerts that will go into Sunday. Notice we're hanging on for many with the excessive heat warnings from Boston to New York, Philly, down towards Raleigh, and some advisories and warnings still out towards the Midwest as well. Rest of today, though, that severe weather outlook in place. We could see some active thunderstorms through the evening and even after dark highlighted in this area. And we'll see several complexes of thunderstorms, too. Look at this. By about 11 o'clock tonight, we'll be tracking some of those showers and thunderstorms into the Great Lakes, some back towards the Midwest, a few more spotty thunderstorms possible into the Mid-Atlantic region, although a little bit more isolated there. For Sunday morning, again, a few lingering thunderstorms into New England, back towards the Great Lakes. But again, those will be kind of wrapping up a bit before they re-energize as we go through Sunday. Here's a look at those Sunday low temperatures. These are our lows. 81 in New York City, 82 Philly, 83 Washington, D.C., 83 in Boston as well. It's going to be hot overnight, and heat index values are going to remain high overnight as well. Now for Sunday, our forecast temperatures go up to near 100 again in our nation's capital, Philadelphia, and even up towards Boston. New York, a bit of a break, though, with a high near 90. 93 in Indianapolis and 93 in Roanoke, Virginia. Here's a peek at your severe weather threat. Draw a line from New York City back towards Chicago, and just south of there, that's where we find that risk of severe weather. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, over towards St. Louis. You've got that chance because of this cold front, stationary front, if you will, just slowly meandering south through the region. We'll be seeing more clusters of thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon, into the evening, and into the overnight hours. And these will likely give us the threat of damaging winds and some frequent lightning, not to mention some heavier downpours. And how about even into Monday? We'll be tracking some active thunderstorms for the Midwest. Monday's highs noticeably cooler and more tolerable. Less humid in Detroit, 78 degrees, 74 Chicago, 78 in Pittsburgh. Still a little on the warm side in Philadelphia with a high near 90, but a nice relief into New England with some upper 70s and 80s for Monday. And our severe weather threats, again, the I-95 corridor down back into the Ohio Valley and into the mid-Atlantic. As this front continues to work its way towards the coast, there it is, those strong thunderstorms racing through on Monday. We'll continue to see them pull off to the east coast into Monday night and perhaps linger just a little bit into early Tuesday. And there's a sneak peek at those Tuesday temperatures, much more comfortable here with 70s and 80s and lower humidity values. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you hate the heat, and boy, there's a lot of heat to hate, it seems lately. 100 degrees for that high on Washington, D.C.'s Sunday forecast, and then back into the 80s by midweek. Let's take it down to Florida, where we've also got some heat and humidity, maybe not as intense as our friends to the north are used to seeing, but how about this? Awesome storm there off of Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, and that all that moisture getting pumped into the northeastern United States. Fort Lauderdale, not a bad start to the day there. Always a nice sunrise, no matter what the weather is there on the east coast of South Florida. Now up to Kissimmee, this is where we had some big old thunderstorms over the last 24 hours, a lot of lightning and a lot of heavy wind and heavy rain. If you've been looking for somewhere to escape the heat, we have a perfect idea for you, and it's the next video. Let's roll it. Great Smoky Mountains. This is from Mary Reed Runyon, and look at that. That is just so nice. You have nice condensation taking place, and the wildflowers in the foreground, time-lapse photography. You either have to go into the cooler water or up into the higher mountains to try to beat the heat these days, don't you? Well, the heat is going to remain here in the southeastern United States, but we're actually going to turn cooler and wetter ourselves. Let's get to the heat alerts that are in effect in northeastern portions of North Carolina. These continue through the rest of the day today and into the day tomorrow. Raleigh, Greenville, the Outer Banks, Elizabeth City, just east of Charlotte, feeling well beyond 102 degrees. Some of the hottest weather in this deep purple or kind of bright pink color that you see right there. So far today, high temperatures have reached to about 88 to 95, although without the humidity. With the humidity, it has felt 5 to 10 degrees hotter than that. We once again have been pelted with scattered downpours today. Inland Florida, across the southern tier of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, and those will slowly drift to the west-southwest, diminishing after sunset, or maybe 10, 11 o'clock at the latest. Severe weather not expected. A couple of rogue thunderstorms with strong wind gusts and deadly, dangerous cloud-to-ground lightning are our biggest threats. Overnight lows either side of 75. High temperatures tomorrow seasonable on either side of about 90 degrees. Tomorrow's weather pattern features a little different weather for Florida. Some morning showers east coast, west coast of Florida. A couple of bigger thunderstorms by the afternoon. Not as many of those thunderstorms popping up across the southeast in the northern Gulf Coast states. That's some good news. Here comes some of the cooler air slowly but surely. Nashville down to 86. We're still at 90 in Mobile. But then by Tuesday, look at that. A front coming in to bring you down to 83 in Charlotte. Just a heads up, always monitor these fronts in late July. If you recall, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a week and a half by now, we had the front stall here, the energy gathered, and it ended up turning into Barry. So watch those fronts. Nothing out there just yet, officially. Forecast rainfall now through the next few days. It's going to be centered in the Tennessee Valley into northern Alabama. Could see 2 to 4 inches there. Tampa, Florida, there's a true summer forecast. Low 90s with daily thunderstorms. Chattanooga, though, a little cooler on Tuesday, 81. One more for you in Myrtle Beach. Nice beach weather. If you're going Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, weather aware for lightning.
There you go. Weather on the 5s. 25 and 45 minutes past the hour on all music shows, 25 and 55 on all talk shows, or any time in the hour that ends in 5, 5:15, 25, 35, 45, or 55 minutes past the hour right here on GJRB Online. We'll have another weather on the 5s coming up in just about maybe 45 or so minutes here on GJRB Online. Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra here on Spreaker. Thanks a lot for tuning into the program. Always a pleasure joining me. And coming up in the next half hour, we'll do 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music. And we're going to feature in this hour we're going to go back in time 50 years to the day when we had the walk on the moon. The men landed on the moon. And we're going to do that one coming up next. Also, some celebrity birthdays and your birthdays. We'll do a birthday shout out. Got one birthday that we need to acknowledge, so we got that coming up as well. And a whole lot more other good stuff continuing here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, the Gary Russen program, Saturday Extra. Always a pleasure to bring you this program. And getting a lot of good stuff coming up. And if you like the show, love to hear from you. If you have a comment or two and some stuff to talk about, always a pleasure to bring it to you here on GJRB Online. And we'll be rolling into part 3 in about 18 minutes, and we'll do our 50 minutes of nonstop talk and music. So we'll have that rolling for you. And see what's happening here on GJRB Online. And, just having fun here doing internet talk radio. And always glad to bring you this great stuff on GJRB Online. And if you like to make a comment, I'd love to hear from you today. And we'll close out our show in the last hour, as always, with our Spreaker podcast shout-outs. And we'll even do some shout-outs to anybody who may be listening out there today. So check that out. And, of course, brought to you by Spreaker. And, of course, once again, they are extending out with another 24 hours. 24 hours to do it again. Offer is moving fast. 30% off in the next 24 hours for anybody who wants to broadcast longer. If you are 30% off on the broadcaster plan. And it's on here on Spreaker. So, if you want to be a DJ on there like me, it's the best place to be. Spreaker, Spreaker, and Spreaker, and broadcast to the world. And, we can do that. And we're setting aside some money for next month, and we should be to the 3-hour plan, which will make it kind of nice because then I'll have to stop every 45 minutes or try to attempt to stretch 45 minutes into an hour, which I'm trying to do as best I can. Because I know that I don't know if I'm going to try it, but I can't guarantee we'll get to that point. But we'll see what happens. Got about 6 more minutes, so we'll see. Maybe we can get that down to another 45-minute plan. We'll see how it goes. We're going to try. If we do not, I will flip over and we'll try it one more time. So I'm trying to attempt to do that 45-minute, do that hour, stretch that 45 minutes into an hour, and that's always so much fun to try to do. So we're gonna work it out somehow. And of course, along the way, we'll have some more moon songs and talk to you, and we'll be posting. So I hope you'll listen throughout the afternoon. I just posted, by the way, on Convo and MeWe and on Pinterest. So you can go over there and check that out. Also, you can listen to this show on Twitter. I am the Radio Maniac. Just click that icon that shows the play icon in front of the widget. It'll take you, open it up. You can hit that play button and listen to the show right there. And if you want to scroll Twitter, you can just do is click into the it'll open up a tab into my Spreaker public site. And you can listen to the show right there and get in the chat room and join me live. And I'm going to post on all my Facebook places too as well coming up next. On GGRB Online, I kind of alternated. One show I'll do Facebook first, and then one show I'll do Convo first, and then Convo and MeWe and Pinterest, and then the next show I'll reverse it and do the Convo and MeWe first, and Facebook next. That's how I'm doing that. So, you know. Anyway, we got a lot of really good stuff coming up, so I hope you'll stay with me. The Gary Russen Program, Saturday Extra. You're welcome to be part of the show. And coming up, let's see what we got coming up in the next segment of our program. Oh, no, hit the wrong button. They already did weather. Thank you. I just wanted this one. Yeah, the hitting the wrong button is one of my favorite things to do. Anyway, coming up in the next segment of our program, we'll do another scroll through social media. We'll continue with Facebook. Where is this Jerry's anyway? I'm going to check that out. Anyway, let's see what else we have here. Let's go back to the home page and see. We can also visit Twitter in our scroll through social media. It continues. CBN News with Ephraim Graham. The hottest cities to visit this summer, according to a hot wire list. So maybe do something like that. Let's see what else we'll have. Let's see. Oh yeah, birthday greetings. We'll do a birthday shout out. We got a birthday here. We're gonna tell him who's sharing his birthday with. We got that coming up. Also, let's see. Okay, we had a nice little event there. Let's see. Going down the ways a little bit. Absolutely fabulous day today here in Clinton, Iowa. Kind of overcast. Take a look at Clinton's weather the last hour as well. And other stuff, we got Samuel Day, Miami University sending me ads for a branch of campuses and bachelor degrees. It says, and Apollo 11, of course, we were talking about that. Ray, stay tuned because I'm going to play you the at 4:18 p.m. Is that Eastern time, right? 4:18 p.m. Well, I'm going to give you the touchdown here in a little bit. We're going to play that piece, the complete descent, coming up after this break. So stay with me. This is the Gary Russen Program, Saturday Extra on GJRB Online on Spreaker. Oh, let me see. We do have somebody in the chat room. Caramel Conservative joining us. Hey, brother. Ed Delgado in the chat room. How you doing today? I'm doing not too bad. I'm kind of hanging in there, man, you know. That's all I can do. Thanks a lot for joining me. We're kind of flipping around here. What I do is I try to stretch 45 minutes into an hour without having to flip over again. And making something last, and by running spots on my local 9-foot signal. You haven't been on for a while. What happened on Tuesday night? I noticed you haven't been on for the past 2 weeks on Tuesday. Last Tuesday, my wife was in the emergency room, so I was not on the air. But my 9-foot signal usually is on the air on Tuesday evenings carrying your show. But I repeat a lot of your shows back on my closed circuit signal. And coming up, stay tuned, because I'm going to play you, we're going to go back in time to July 20th, 1969, and we're going to play the original touchdown of the Eagle as it landed on the moon. And it did happen. I don't care what these stupid idiots claim to say that the moon landing didn't happen. I've had our kids in town, but they left yesterday. Hope your wife is doing well. She's doing a little better. Her stomach kind of still bothers her a little bit. She's been having problems. They're saying that maybe perhaps she has it and it's reaching her well, she's been having hurts all over yet. So, but she's getting better. She's doing a lot of antibiotics at this point, and we're trying to trying to get rid of it. It's taken a while, but thank you for the for that. I'd be flipping over to break, but I think I'm going to stay on. I was going to flip over to my 9-foot signal break, and but I'm going to stay on and just flip over. Next month, I'm going to put $14 aside. Right now, there's a 30% discount again on the Spreaker 3-hour plan broadcaster. But we need to kind of put that aside because they put their 30% discount in the middle of the month where we really can't reach it just yet. And I've been wanting to get on that 3-hour plan for the past 2 months now. And I'm just like patiently waiting to get it, but we need to push it aside again this month. So I'm hoping maybe perhaps we can get on this plan soon, some way or another. I just wish I could get some kind. I don't know. I wish I could make some kind of. I wish I could make 15. I should try to make $15 a week. Try to find one way to get this thing up to 3 hours. I've been wanting it so bad. I really have. I could stretch 45 minutes and all that, but I lose listeners if I go to that commercial break locally. I should just play our local commercial break on the air. It gets kind of frustrating for me sometimes to be able to get that break and get that in there. So usually what I'll do is stay on until the end of this segment, go part 3, and try to attempt to stretch it to an hour. I'm going to try to see what I can do with that. I don't know. Well, like I said before, be patient if I have to go to a local spot break on my 9-foot closed circuit signal, because that expands my time. That's why I do that. I disconnect off the internet, and it runs and runs for like about 5 minutes offline, quiet. And then when I plug it back in, it boosts it up to 45 minutes, and I get like another. It feels like I just have another hour. That's why I do that. I mean, that's about as close as I'll ever get right now to get that to that 3-hour plan. You know, tell me something. Tell me if you agree with me on this, Ed, if you're listening. Wouldn't it be a great idea if Spreaker were to say, let's expand that on-air talent plan to an hour instead of 45 minutes. Give us an extra 15 minutes. That's what I think it should be done. Because I think 45 minutes is stupid. It's like turning over a 90-minute cassette tape. You know when you run out of tape? You remember those 120-minute tapes that used to pull real bad? I had a couple of those. And I had 3 or 4 of them. I gotta confess, because I had my first closed circuit, first low-powered FM station. They used to have it for a few years ago. What they used to do, 1 hour on the talent? Really? I wish they'd do that again. I know that the free plan used to be 30 minutes. And then they dropped it to 15. And then they decided, well, and it's ridiculous. Now, there's a girl I was following on here. She's a DJ, and she's out of Florida. She has a station called Debbie Scott Radio Network. And she's been really upset with Spreaker because they dumped the web-based console. She was not pleased. As a matter of fact, she was not happy at all with it because I think they had to. I don't know how they had their song set up, but they had to. They can't broadcast because they lost a lot of their songs that they had on their computer, and because the library and everything is gone with that web-based console. And I thought, well, would it have been more simpler if you would have just had all your songs on the computer so that you could upload it onto the studio? I mean, it would have made more sense. You're saying, well, it's the way to get people to jump to that $30 plan or $20 plan. Yeah, you're probably right. I don't care. I would like to get the plan. I'd really like to have 3 hours because I do show for 3 hours. And I want to do continuous programming. So that like GJRB is always on the air. Even if I have to flip every 3 hours, I don't care about that. I mean, I would just love to do that. Because then I can have GJRB on a good chunk of the day some days and get more audience. Because right now I'm not very happy with Facebook. The fact that they block my show like that is really ticked me off. And right now I'm posting on wherever I can on Facebook. But I want to ask you if you can help me with this. How do I get my show? Now, I already have this show on Spotify. I'll put this show on Spotify. It's there. You helped Huber. And I was wondering if you could help me. What I want to do is, eventually when I get the 3 hour plan, I want to see if you could help me get on Instagram. Is there a way you could do that? Because I really am tired of talking to empty space. A lot of my shows are. And it would be great if I could get on Instagram. And it would be great if I could have a fabulous logo like you have. With all the stuff you... Because like I said, some of my shows right now are on Spotify. And some aren't. Because I'm kind of being picky about it due to the fact that I play copyrighted songs. But for at this point... Until I get that 45-minute plan, that 50, that whatever, right now they got an offer, and I can't really take it right now. And it's a 30% off discount. I have to wait at least another month before I can get it. And I don't know. I just wish that I could make some kind of. I wish I could make $15 in a hurry. That's what I wish I could. Because I would dump on the chance of being able to get this upgraded. It really would be. It really would be fabulous. And like I said before, be patient with me if I go off the air and come back on after 3 hours. Of course, that's easy. Okay, he's telling me here. Of course, that's easy. The hard part is getting a following. That being said, that I'm half thinking of creating a network to help promote a bunch of people. Okay. Network. Now, what are you going to do there? You're going to have a network like, let's say, Mike Myers, where you would be on TuneIn, where you would broadcast like I do. Was what I call Spreaker. Now, the one I have here on 88.9, and I have about maybe a minute, 22 seconds left before I go to break. Here on my closed circuit FM signal, I have I call Spreaker 88 Spreaker FM. The station's called Spreaker FM 88.9. Spreaker FM 88. I picked the 88.9 because it's a good entry frequency. It's, not too many stations in that area using it, and I call it KSPR, and I put on all the Spreaker programs that are on the air, like yours, Mike Myers, and stuff like that. But it's only a local station. No one can hear it unless you're in the driveway. But I'm going to be patient with you. I'm going to take a break real quick. I got to flip here in about 20 seconds. So I'm going to take a 20-second break here, 20-second, and do a station identification, and I'll be right back. This is the GJRB Online Network. I will be right back. Stay tuned. This is the GJRB Online Network.